So suppose you have y equals to e to power minus x, y is equal to 0, x is equal to -1, x is equal to 0, and you're rotating it about the line x equals to 1. So what if you decide to use the shell method? So this line x equals to 1 is parallel to y-axis. So it means that when you're using the shell method, you have to convert everything. And this everything needs to be written in terms of x. Okay. So far, we don't have any issue with the function. The function itself is y equals to e to power negative x. But what's the visualization look like? E to power minus x behaves like this. Then you have y equal to 0, your x-axis. And then x equals to -1, which is the line on the other side. So you're taking this object, let's see, and x equal to 0, so it restricts our region to this region. We rotate this about x equals to 1. Okay, where is that line? X equals to 1 is this line here. This is a vertical line, x equals to 1. And you're rotating this object with respect to this line. So basically, this is your region, right? And rotate it about x equals to 1. So let us take a look at this. This is our object, or the region that is rotated about x equals to 1, right? So what's the setup look like? How do we set this up using the shell method? So a typical cylinder here is behaving like this. All right, this is the base of the cylinder. This is the height of the cylinder. So if you were to calculate the circumference of this cylinder, what would be the circumference? What is the radius here, right? What is the circumference down here? And please note that here you have x equals to 1. How do you calculate the radius here? So the radius is a distance between this line, x equals to 1, and any x value. So the radius is 1 minus x. So the circumference is 2 pi r, or 2 pi times 1 minus x. For the height, we don't have that much of an issue. The height is very easy to visualize. The height of the cylinder is on the left and the right, it doesn't matter, is located on e to power negative x. And down here, this is the maximum y value. This is your height, and this is your minimum y value, which is basically just 0. So to calculate the height, or to find the height is just e to power minus x minus 0. So now let us set up our integral. The volume is equal to the definite integral of 2 pi r, which is 1 minus x, times e to the power minus x dx. But how are x's changing, right? X was here, and then it goes to -1. So this definite integral is -1 to 0. Now the question is, how do we calculate this definite integral? If you simplify this definite integral into -1 to 0, 2 pi e to the power minus x minus 2 pi x e to the power minus x dx, what I did, I just distributed 2 pi and e to the negative x into parentheses. This volume is equal to definite integral of -1 to 0 of 2 pi e to the power minus x dx minus definite integral -1 to 0 2 pi x e to the power minus x dx. So the first integral is easy to calculate. We don't have any issue with this integral. It's a very simple integral to deal with. But for this integral, we have to use integration by parts. So in applying integration by parts, you're basically using some sort of substitution. Your u is equal to x, your dv is e to the power minus x dx. Then du is dx, and the v is minus e to the power minus x. The second integral becomes minus, so here you have uv minus x e to the power minus x minus the integral of v du, which is plus e to the power minus x dx. And the first integral is just -2 pi e to the power minus x -1 to 0. So as you can see, you have another integral to worry about. And don't forget to put the -2 pi or just 2 pi in front of this. So let me write down 2 pi here before I forget. And minus 2 pi, and everything is inside the bracket. Very good. So let us copy down the first integral, which is -2 pi e to the power minus x -1 to 0. Then you can distribute this -2 pi into parentheses. You get plus 2 pi x e to the power minus x between -1 to 0. And then you have, if you take the integral of this guy, you get -e to the power minus x. So you have plus 2 pi e to the power minus x between -1 to 0. But pay attention here, the first integral and the second integral, they are opposite of each other. And this integral in turns can be calculated as 2 pi, and then here you have x divided by e to the x -1 to 0, or 2 pi times 0 divided by 1 minus -1 divided by e to the power minus 1, or you have 2 pi e. So this is the volume, and if you want to use a calculator to approximate this, use a calculator.